This is Steve. I thought I'd talk to you about science today. I don't know if you remember science class, you might remember your first day in school, which for me was in Memphis, Tennessee, and the teacher had us look out the windows, and this was in the autumn, and so during the autumn, during that time, and in times since and times before, it being the autumn, the leaves would change on the trees, and she says, look out the window and see the leaves change on the trees. So we did, and sure enough, the leaves, we didn't see the leaves change, but the leaves had already changed. So there were all these different colors and stuff. This is in Memphis, Tennessee. It doesn't happen in Florida because the leaves don't change on the trees, you see. And anyway, but our science teacher's name was Miss Sharp, which is a good name because for her, because she had us all prick our finger one time with the sharp. Okay, she gave us like a little sharp out, and everybody's supposed to prick their finger and get a blood sample, right? So we're going to examine the blood samples in science class, in Miss Sharp's class. So she gave us something sharp. And everybody in the class was really, could poke the finger and get the blood, but I couldn't do it. I mean, I was very squeamish, before and since. Anyway, the thing about it, I couldn't, because what happened was everybody poked their finger and everybody like showing off the blood, which is kind of a gory, gross thing, but for me, I couldn't do it, so I'm grinding and grinding, and I really never could quite poke my finger, So it's like on Facebook, everybody goes poke, poke, poke. I couldn't poke, and I couldn't get the finger, couldn't get the blood, couldn't. So I don't even really remember how we dealt that. If I borrowed some blood from the guy next to me or what, It's kind of like when I was in science class, or science and biology. Was it biology? What's the one where you cut up the frogs and you dissect the frogs and they give you these big giant earthworms that are like super uncanny long and ginormous, and you cut them open and you find out her earthworms got little hearts and little lungs. I mean, they got the little body organs just like human beings. It just goes to show how much like earthworms we are. And you learn this stuff, in science class, and so. Miss Sharp's class. So I was sitting next to my friend John. So they would show the film strips. You know how they show the film strips in science class? The ones that we're talking about science, and they would show the film strip and with all they had the information. Cause remember, did you ever have to make a paramecium? Isn't that the one that's like the smallest? The one cell, we're back to the blood thing again. One celled, the paramecium is a one-celled animal, and it's the only one that we can see with the naked eye. And so so what we did, you had to create the paramecium, or cause it to come into being. You had a jar, and it had a piece of bread or something in it. So you put this in like water, and then you let it sit for a day or two, and then the next day you look and you don't see anything. But you kept looking anyway, just hoping you're going. And then you look, and there it was. It was funny because you could see it with your naked eye because your eye was like naked, right? There was nothing on your eye. It wasn't like I had glasses on. And you see the thing floating in the water. So then they take them out, and but you can see it floating around a little one-celled organism. And you take it out, and we put under the microscope, and I saw in a catalog recently, they got in the microscope, you don't even look at them, they got like little screens, like everything's video now, right? Everything's like digital and video. Well, they got, you can look and you can see I'm getting out of breath because this is one heck of a one-cell paramecium, but what they did was they take the paramecium out so we can look at it under the microscope. So what happened is, the paramecium, very happy in its element. They're in the water with the bread and the mold or whatever it is that causes the paramecium to come into being there. But what happens is that the paramecium's dead now. I felt kind of sorry. I felt kind of sad for the paramecium because poor little one-cell. I mean, it's only a one-cell organism, right? But it's dead. I mean, somebody killed it. I mean, it's got a mom and a dad, and it's probably got little baby parameciums. So, And, my friend John, we're watching the film strip in the class, and I guess the film strip was outdated or something, and he stopped the whole class in the film strip and says, Miss Sharp says, this film strip is wrong. So he said the film strip was wrong, something wrong with the film strip. There was nothing wrong with the film strip, but he disagreed with the data in the film strip. It became kind of a big joke. He argued with the film strip. And yeah, did you ever see the aurora borealis? Yeah, this is a sample of what it looks like, the aurora borealis, and yeah, that's a scientific thing too. But you got to go up to Alaska, and you can see this the aurora borealis. It's not like boring. It's just aurora, and there's frozen north, and the borealis, and the aurora. So that's my vlog. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, if you got two hard objects and one's hitting against the other, what happens is they got one immovable object and another immovable object, and they're hitting each other. This is impossible because otherwise they can't be hitting each other if neither one of them they're not both moving. So one of them is moving. And what is the sound of one hand clapping after all? Probably something like that. So somebody's slobbering all over my neck.
I couldn't. I cracked up.
What have you done to my face?